All right, guys. Now it's time to get into the characters of the Taildragger. I've told you what I'm doing. I've told you why I'm doing it. So now let's talk a little bit about what's going to go on. The protagonist is named Charlie. He's 15 years old. His dad's been gone a couple of years, and he just hasn't found his way yet. His mom doesn't know what to do, and she's kind of at the end of her rope. So she calls her father, who was a grumpy World War II pilot and mechanic. Now, I wrestled with having him in the Air Force or the Navy. I think you can tell who I ultimately decided on. Yeah, I was in the U.S. Navy. I think the U.S. Navy just has a great story to tell from their time in the Pacific. I originally was going to have Tuck fly Atlantic missions, but then I opted to use the Pacific because one of the elements I want to weave in with Tuck in his imagery is his fondness for Hawaiian shirts. This would have come from his time spent at Pearl Harbor after the events of December 7th, 1941. I'm going to have Tuck flying a C-47, which is a transport ship, resupplying the Solomon Islands, Wake Islands, Guam, Iwo Jima, and I just thought that the imagery of the South Pacific during World War II is something that I thought would really lend well to the storytelling. I had him start out as a mechanic because I'm an aircraft mechanic, but ultimately I wanted to bring in the pilot element as well because I think there's a great story to tell from a maintenance standpoint and then learning to fly. Obviously, Tuck and Charlie want to leave the air in this Taildragger that they are restoring together. So I really wanted to bring in the pilot aspect of that too. It's kind of neat because I've got a lot of pilot friends and I've collaborated with several, so I'm hoping to get some buy-in on that. I'll be honest with you, I am not a pilot. So there's another chance for me to learn a new skill, talking about first ground school and then walking through the different axes of the airplane. So I was just really excited to layer that in. Tuck is recently widowed, and so he's living alone, and I think him and Charlie find each other when they really need each other. And I think that's just the apex of the story, is both of them are struggling. Together they struggle mightily, but then things start to improve. Again, I'm going to walk through what life on a rural airport in the late 70s is about. There's a lot of nostalgia there. I grew up in aviation. My dad was in aviation, and I spent a lot of time on airports in the late 70s. So this is somewhat autobiographical in certain regards. I don't think any writer has ever written a piece that didn't have at least some of themselves in the story. And some of it, is completely fiction made up, but all of the technical references will be legit and correct. So that's it for this week. I appreciate you sticking around and walking through me on this journey. I'm excited to share more with you guys as the time permits. So I appreciate it. Have a great day.